The smell hit me before the flames did. That sharp, sickening scent of burning silk. Sweet, expensive, and final. I stood frozen in my parents' backyard as my wedding dress, the one I'd waited months for, the one that was supposed to carry me down the aisle, curled into black ash inside a fire pit. And standing right beside it was my sister. Smiling. "You don't deserve this dress, Emily," she said calmly, watching $5,000 disappear into smoke. "You don't deserve any of this." But what she didn't know was that while she thought she was ruining my wedding, she was actually walking straight into the biggest mistake of her life. "Before we get into this, let me ask you something. Have you ever been underestimated? Ignored? Dismissed? Treated like you were smaller than someone else your entire life?" My name is Emily Chin. I'm 28 years old, an interior designer, and for as long as I can remember, I've lived in my sister Victoria's shadow. Victoria was everything I wasn't. Beautiful. Loud. Charismatic. The kind of person who walked into a room and instantly owned it. Teachers adored her. Friends orbited her. My parents, well, they never meant to compare us, but they always did. Victoria was the golden child. And I was the background noise. I learned early that if I wanted anything in life, I'd have to work twice as hard and complain half as much. I learned to stay quiet, to observe, to plan, and most importantly, I learned how Victoria operated. Because beneath the perfect hair and polished smile, my sister had a cruel streak. She didn't just want to win. She wanted me to lose. When I got engaged to James, everything shifted. James was successful, grounded, kind, an architect I'd met through work. Someone who saw me. Really saw me. When I announced the engagement, Victoria hugged me tightly. Too tightly. "I'm so happy for you," she said. And something in her voice didn't sit right. She insisted on helping with the wedding. Insisted on being maid of honor. Insisted on keeping my wedding dress safe at her place. That should have been my first red flag. But hope makes you stupid. What Victoria didn't know was that I'd learned from every time she'd sabotaged me growing up. So I ordered 2 dresses. One obvious, traditional, lace, fit, exactly what she expected. And another, hidden safely at my best friend Lisa's house. The night before my wedding, I went to my parents' house to grab some childhood photos for the reception slideshow. That's when I saw the glow in the backyard. Orange. Flickering. And Victoria standing over the fire pit. My dress burning. "You don't deserve this," she said again, smiling as the lace shriveled. I expected to break. To scream. Cry. Collapse. Something inside me went still. "Are you done?" I asked. Her smile faltered. "You can't still be getting married tomorrow," she scoffed. "You don't even have a dress." I smiled back. "You really should have asked about the other one." The confusion on her face was delicious. I turned and walked inside. Back in my old bedroom, I opened my laptop. Pulled up the security footage from the camera I'd secretly installed near the fire pit weeks earlier. Crystal clear. Victoria's face. Her smile. Her voice. Proof. But that wasn't even the real revenge. Because while Victoria had been busy plotting to humiliate me, I'd been quietly investigating her. The charitable foundation she ran? 3 years of embezzlement. Fake donations. Personal expenses disguised as outreach. Private jets. Designer bags. Luxury hotels. All paid for by donor money. I had a private investigator. I had documents. And I had timing. Perfect timing. The morning of my wedding, I stood in Lisa's guest room. Wearing the real dress. Bold. Modern. Stunning. Everything Victoria never expected me to choose. "You look unbelievable," Lisa whispered. My phone buzzed. Detective Martinez. Guests arriving. In position. At the church, Victoria swept in pretending concern. "I'm so sorry about the accident," she said sweetly. "Maybe we should postpone." I opened the garment bag. Her face drained of color. Before she could speak, Detective Martinez knocked. "Miss Palmer," she said politely. "We need to talk about the foundation." That's when the mask shattered. "You did this," Victoria hissed. "You planned this." "Yes," I said calmly. "While you were busy burning dresses, I was collecting evidence." I showed the footage. Then the documents. Then the charges. My mother looked like she'd been slapped. Victoria lunged for my phone. Too late. Detective Martinez stepped in. "We can do this quietly now," she said. "Or publicly, after the ceremony." Victoria collapsed. She was escorted out, still in her maid of honor dress. I walked down the aisle in a dress she never knew existed. James smiled like the world had just righted itself. And at the reception, phones started buzzing. Breaking news. Palmer Foundation director arrested at sister's wedding. Donor stared. Whispered. Justice spread like wildfire. Victoria was denied bail. She asked to see me. I told her she could wait until after my honeymoon. But sometimes, the best revenge isn't destruction. It's exposure. She spent her life calling me unworthy. Turns out, she was projecting. I didn't destroy my sister. He did that herself. All I did was stop protecting her lies. Sometimes the quiet ones aren't weak. They're just waiting. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button. Drop a comment telling us the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories where karma shows up right on time. But trust me, the quiet ones always have a plan. Fire.